Greetings, friends, and welcome to Monday. Wow, I almost had no voice there. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I haven't said a single word today. But as you can see, it is now nighttime, and you can see the reflection of my PS4 in the window. I've been on a bit of a Cold Steel 4 marathon tonight, and when I say marathon, I mean I've only been playing it for like an hour, so not that long ultimately, but I have been having a lot of fun with it, and I'm getting really into the story. I won't say anything about the plot itself, but I am in the interlude, I guess you would call it. I finished Act 1 at the end of May, and I've been doing like this little interlude that happens at the end of it, and it's been really cool. But, yeah, I don't want to say too much more because obvious spoilers, but I'm having a good time, and I'm already looking forward to playing more. I just went ahead and made myself some dinner, so once it cools down I will eat it, and then get back to playing. But I won't stay up too late tonight. I'm meeting up with Brendan tomorrow morning at around 10:30, so I'm sure I'll be awake by then, especially 10:30, but I want to make sure that I'm at least, somewhat well rested before hanging out with him. As far as how the day went, it's kind of conflicting. It was an interesting day, mostly in a good way, but parts of the day just didn't feel that good. For example, my depression kind of flared up earlier today, and I was trying to write, and there was like that little nagging voice at the back of my head telling me it's not worth the effort, your writing's no good, so why even put in the effort to get better, like that kind of stuff. And I was trying to play a game, and this is actually a bit of a funny story. I mean, it's ultimately not funny because it made me basically give up on the game and I don't know when I'll play it next, but I was trying to play Tales of Phantasia, and I am in the Moria Mines. Obvious Lord of the Rings reference is obvious, but it is a massive dungeon that happens relatively early in the game, kind of, and the first time I got there, it made me stop playing the game. It made me start a new save file because I thought I was underleveled. Well, on my new save file I got there after spending hours grinding ahead of time, and it's still hard as heck, and I don't know why. I was making some semblance of progress. I kept getting burned out because of how long the freaking dungeon is and how many enemies there are, and it's a random encounter rate, and honestly, I never thought I'd say this. Well, I can't say never, but I feel that if the game's combat was turn-based, the battles would be more tolerable, because you see, it's an action RPG, but it's a side-scrolling action RPG, so it's, left to right, and some verticality elements, somewhat, but it acts like a turn-based game, so you walk around and there are random encounters, you don't see enemies on the field or anything like that. You get into a random fight, and in this dungeon, they are everywhere, and they have a lot of HP, and it just sucks. It's not a good time at all. And I was having a good time with the game prior to the Moria Mines, but the Moria Mines have killed any and all enthusiasm I had for the game. On top of that, today, after finally making more progress and being like, you know what, I'm going to be patient with the game, I'm going to try to make some progress. So I did, and I'm like, okay, it's alright so far. I make it to a floor that I haven't been at in forever, and I go to save state, because there's only one save tile in the dungeon that I've seen, and I didn't want to backtrack all the way there, so I was going to save state. But the problem is, the save state hotkeys on my PS1 emulator are apparently different than the save state hotkeys that I use on every single one of my other emulators. Everything else uses Shift plus either F1, F2, F3, etc. to save your state, but that didn't work for my emulator. You want to know what it did? It reloaded another save state I had from hours prior to going to the Moria Mines. I reset hours of progress, and at that point, I was already done with the game, but I feel like that was my tipping point, and I'm like, you know what? No, I am not playing this darn game anymore. I'm tired of it, and it seems it's only been a struggle to get into. So, I gave up on the game. And then after that, I think I took a nap, maybe. I was incredibly tired. I think it was this weekend, just hanging out and socializing for so long. And it was a really good weekend, don't get me wrong. But my social battery tends to drain pretty quickly, so I took a nap earlier, and it was a nice nap. But when I woke up, that was when Depresso Espresso started again. And it was really rough. I just couldn't get interested in anything, and I kept scrolling through YouTube expecting to find some sort of magical video that would automatically make me enjoy things. But nope, no such luck. And the more I scrolled, the more I felt bad. So finally I just started journaling, and I watched a Dr. K video. He's like this, a therapist who does like therapy for, I don't know. It's something that I'd recommend checking out, but I watched a video of his on like the cycle of depression and how, like, is it my depression that breeds bad thoughts, or do my bad thoughts breed depression? And he talked about how it's like a cycle of both, basically. So learning about that, I was able to kind of identify the negative factors in my brain, that voice that was telling me my writing's not worth it, or that video games are a waste of time, all those sorts of things. And I broke them down and decided to tell them to shut the hell up, and I did what I wanted to. I got some more writing done. While it wasn't a whole lot, it was still enough. I remembered the people that I care about in my life, and I decided to boot up Trails of Cold Steel 4, and I've been having a fantastic time since. But other than that, there's not much else to talk about today, other than, if you're dealing with something like this too, or just remember, you're not alone, even if it feels like it. I know that probably rings hollow to anyone who's like really dealing with it, and if that's the case, I do apologize. I can't really excuse that, but that's just my genuine truth. But with that said, I hope you guys had a good day. You're all wonderful people. Thank you for watching, and let's do our best tomorrow.